I click?
Well, because I probably clicked it at the same time and it got confused. Yes.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. My pleasure to present today together with the Google team. We will tell a lot today about how to unlock the affiliate potential, both out of our own experience as RedTrack solution, which is a dedicated conversion tracking and attribution solution for affiliates and media buyers, and the Google team who actually know even more about that because they are the biggest platform in the world, and they would share a lot of interesting insights today on how to do that the best way, especially with Google. So I would pass the word to Beatrice, probably, to talk a little bit about their part, and we will start the presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Konstantin, for inviting us today. We have an agenda that is very, very busy, actually. We will start with a quick introduction of our team. And after that, we prepared a couple of sessions that we think will be very useful for every affiliate here in the room. The first one is going to be an essential kickoff guide on how to start your affiliate journey with Google. Obviously, we also want to talk about product. So we will deep dive on 2 products that are particularly interesting in the affiliate space. And we will also dedicate some time on the setup and scale best practices. RedTrack team will then go through a session on using third-party solution for conversion tracking and campaign optimization. And we will be finishing the webinar with how to start your journey with us, so with Google. I will hand it over to Shrey for the official welcome and opening.
Thanks, Pia. Thanks a lot. And thanks everyone for joining. Just a quick introduction. I'm Shrey Kapoor. I'm a part of the APAC affiliate specialist team, which we all are a part of. We have Bia, Shubham, and Twinkle will be also presenting after this. This is a very special initiative that we've sort of made at Google sometime around last year, wherein you would know that there are Google account managers, of course, who help you with your account optimization, setup, scaling up, etc. But we, sometime around last year, we sort of realized that affiliate is a fast growing space and there's not a lot of specialized support that Google through account managers is probably able to offer. So we came together and all of us are actually now an affiliate marketing specialist team. So we understand your business, we understand your language better. We work only with affiliates and affiliate networks and help them get set up, scale up on Google Ads. We also go deeper into the different verticals and niches that you guys are used to running. And I think the biggest difference is that we've sort of come to sync with the profitability mindset that all of you typically have while setting up and running your campaigns. Versus, let's say, brands. What we noticed is that brands act and think very differently as compared to affiliates. So that was the reason. I'll just quickly cover how we typically work with affiliate marketing companies. There are largely 3 stages of how we do this, right? When we were working with brands, we do speak to them about whatever their minimum or planned, committed or expected budgets or spends are, and then we take on or onboard them directly for support. But we very quickly sort of realized in the beginning when we were starting this itself that committed budgets or spend commitments doesn't really make sense in the affiliate marketing space, right? So what we go in for is trials. So we onboard new partners directly and we run 4 to 8 week trials with you. During this phase, we try to give you inputs in terms of what is happening globally, what are the verticals, what are the campaigns and offers that are scaling well globally in the affiliate space. We give you best practices in terms of how to set up your campaign, how to avoid policy issues, how to maintain your account hygiene, as well as what Google products work better for each of the verticals that you want to go into. So this is essentially getting you set up, getting you the initial taste of profitability before you actually go deeper and scale up your campaigns. The second phase is vertical expertise, wherein we've onboarded you. We already know what you want to do, what your objectives are, what your goals are, your tracking, your conversions, etc. All are set up and flowing into the system. This is when we go deeper into specific verticals, right? So we built further specializations in, let's say, if you look at CPS, you could be doing advertorials, you could be having a coupon site, you could be doing e-com drop shipping. In terms of cost per lead, you could be doing insurance for the US market or ACA or finance related campaigns. So we go deeper into vertical, your preferred vertical, check what is happening there, give you best practices specific to that. Most of our clients that we sort of onboard are at the second stage. The third stage is actually something called as joint growth plans, which is an annual sort of engagement that we do with top 5 to 10% of our partners only. This also helps us sort of distinguish internally who our top partners are and helps us prioritize and manage bandwidth. These are partners where we have clearer engagement in terms of what will they be doing over the next 12 months. And how can we sort of work together to not just work on a specific campaign or a specific offer and optimize that, but more strategic and longer term approach to how can they grow their business, how can they expand across geographies, across verticals. We would invite these partners to events. We would help them get access to beta products, etc. So that is the third leg of our partnership. So just to give you a quick overview of the team, who we are and what we do. I think a packed agenda today, like Bia mentioned. So I'll not take more time and sort of hand it over to Twinkle to take up the next section. And thanks everyone again for joining.
Hey guys, cool. Thank you so much, Trey. I'll be taking over the best practices. What is the essential guide to kick off if you're a new affiliate or if you're running campaigns, and what are the small misses and hits that you guys do, or as a standard practice that you can follow when you're setting up your campaigns fresh. So I think we can move on to the next slide. 1 second. What to basically do. So we've actually identified after testing and trying and working with so many affiliates that what is the right practice that you should follow when you're setting up a fresh campaign. So we've created a step-by-step guide. And the first and the most important part that we see has been a bigger challenge that we are solving for is an inconsistent behavior. Hence, consistency from day zero is very essential. Say, for example, if you have decided that you are going ahead to work as an XYZ entity. For example, in this case, we can see ABC Leads as an example, wherein that is the final entity that you will be using for your campaign creations, for your advertiser verification, business operation verification, etc. So it is essential that you have all of that information in place. Whenever you are creating the CIDs or you're creating Google ad accounts, use those email IDs. They are far more credential. So if the company name is abcleads.com, so you can use the domain ID as abcleads.com to create your CIDs. Gmail IDs, etc. It actually doesn't give that much of a credibility presence as to what your domain ID gives. So it's essential that you're first setting up your CID with the correct email address. It has to match with the final entity name that you guys are using for your advertiser verification. Second part over here is, 1 second, sorry. I think it's not moving. Yeah. The advertiser verification. Once first you have done the entire CID setup, the second important aspect and the most important aspect is doing advertiser verification. What usually affiliates do is this sign up on the CID, create that, set up the campaign and go live. But advertiser is one important step that is missed, which actually causes a lot of suspension failures. And in case if you have not done any advertiser verification and your CID gets suspended before, you don't have an option to make an appeal also. So the first important aspect when you are setting up your CID is completing the advertiser verification. Coming back to and tying that up to the consistency factor, we ideally recommend you to do the advertiser verification through the same entity name that you're using for creating your CID. Say in case we have the ABC Leads as an example, use the same entity name for your advertiser verification. Give the basic information about what you are an affiliate, what are you doing, what are the campaign processes, what sort of clients you're working with. So that's an important aspect. Within the advertiser verification, we have two areas that are bifurcated. So advertiser verification is coming at the first part. The second is the business operation verification, which is called the BOV. That usually comes after a certain amount of time once your CID has gone live, and it gives you a certain amount of time to fill in more information, provide more documentation about your company, about the campaign that you're working on, about the client that you're kind of working with. So fill all the documents, mention the entire detailed process from the advertiser on how the user information is flowing, etc. All of that information and documentation is necessary. In case if you fail to fill in the BOV completion on the time duration that has been mentioned, your accounts can get paused or get suspended because of the BOV failure. So it's important that needs to be completed. We've also curated some of the reasons that we've seen in our past experiences on BOV failures in case you guys have faced any. One is obviously inconsistent information. Now, for example, if you are providing an information as abcleads.com, but the email ID is Gmail ID, that is an inconsistent information. Or, for example, you have a domain that is a different domain email ID, but the advertiser verification is happening from a different company name. That is also an inconsistent behavior. So, ideally, it is not recommended. Second is there is not enough business relationship justification that is provided. That is associated with your account. For example, you are claiming that you are running lead gen campaigns on pre-landers, but you're not able to provide enough documentation to explain what your campaign is, what your company is doing. Is there a domain ownership document that is related to the pre-lander that is being promoted? And if those documentation are not provided in the BOV, there is a possibility that your BOV can fail. Third is, for example, you are trying to supply some goods. For example, you're promoting some health campaigns or some supplement campaigns, and there is not enough disclaimer or information provided on the goods and services on how they are being fulfilled for a user. If the final transaction happening at a client's page justify the entire user flow, the lack of information or incomplete information can also be a cause of BOV failure. Fourth is not enough documentation about the company. For example, you have integrated a billing profile from maybe a net banking or a card that is not linked to the company, and you're not able to justify what is the relationship with the payment method and the company. That is also a failure of BOV. So you have to have the documentation in place for your right documentation, right identity justification. Whoever the founder is, we are actually going ahead and uploading all the relevant documents in case of company incorporation document, etc. All of that has to be submitted. Fifth is mismatch of the identity. For example, you have submitted the documents, but it is not verified, or the identities mentioned on those documents are not verified by the trust and safety team through their third-party vendors. That can also lead to BOV failure. So hence, be mindful of these very steps when you're submitting your BOVs. Next, third and the most important setup is the billing profile setup. I am sure you might have seen some triggers around suspicious payment failure as one of the policy prompts. What is actually triggering that is the billing profile setup. So when you're setting up your billing profile, be very mindful of the methodology that you're using. In case you are using a prepaid method, wherein you're putting in your net banking or a credit card or a debit card, we ideally recommend that you're using the payment methodology of the main entity of which you're doing the advertiser verification. Say in case if you're using abcleads.com as your advertiser verification entity, it's recommended that you're using a net banking or a credit or a debit card of the same entity. In case not, say for example, if you're the founder of the company and you're using your own payment method over there for setting up your billing, then ideally there is some relationship document to show that, okay, you're the founder of the company, you're using your own card to do the campaign payments. So that clarity has to be there beforehand when you're setting up the campaign for billing, that which payment methodology that you're using and the right verification documents are present for you to verify. Third, in case you have a postpaid billing methodology wherein you're using MCC, we recommend that a high suspension MCC will lead to issues that are actually MCC suspension or billing profile suspension. So we recommend that the suspension rate should be within the limit of 20%. Ideally, it should not be there, but it's slightly a challenging issue. But MCC rate should be within a stipulated point because it can trigger your billing methodology and your postpaid account failure and MCC failure. The next step from here is the importance of pre-lander and landing page. Once we have the entire CID set up, the main aspect that comes after that is setting up your campaign. And the most important part is the landing page that you're trying to promote. In case you're using pre-landers or you're building your own landing pages for promoting a campaign, we recommend you to do a lot of investment in building that landing page. A website should look like a proper website for a user. Imagine yourself as an end user, and if I give you two options between the first option and the second option to choose between the landing page, which will you be more prompted to go and select and fill in your details? That's the mindset of a user is, and that is how we also navigate within the website, that this is how a credibility is reflecting from a landing page. We are providing the relevant information. We have the right pages onto it. We also provide a complete transparency to a user in case if they are filling in information, and it helps in forming the right intent. The three major aspects that a landing page is solving for is: one, obviously enhancing the user experience; second, it actually helps you in improving the quality score; and third is actually boosting your conversion rates with adding the proper CTAs. For example, there are misplaced CTAs or unguided CTAs, or it is just placed here and there on the landing page. You might see a lot of drop off happening on your landing page. So be very mindful of that when you are building a website. Compliance based practices: you can go ahead and get your website verified on Google Search Console. You can go ahead and add your link over there. The a complete detail in terms of code, metadoc, etc. comes over, which you can go ahead and verify your website so that it becomes more credible. We've also curated some of the best practices when you are building a landing page on what to keep in mind. One of the most important aspect is the clear navigation. In case if you are building a lead gen website, say for auto insurance as a category, try to add more and more information for a user, for them to understand. There is a clear navigation of the form that is coming in. What all details are you trying to capture? How they can navigate from the CTA to the final client landing page. That is most important. Second is basic essential pages. We usually see affiliates don't usually miss out to add the privacy policy page, terms and conditions, disclaimers, home, about us, contact us, or in case if the contact us page is existing, the information is not completely correct. So these 5 pages are like a thumb goal for every website or every landing page that you're building. It has to be there. Disclaimers are that to be a right disclaimer. Affiliate disclosures are very important. For example, if you are working as an affiliated partner to any of the brands, do mention that, do call out that on your landing page for people to know that okay, you are an affiliate partner for XYZ brand and you are running campaigns on behalf of that. That is very important. In case if you are running campaigns which are more health specific, you can go ahead to add health disclaimers for users to have that kind of an understanding, but it is essential that you're adding those disclaimers. Compliance, privacy policy, and terms conditions are mandatory pages for everybody to have on their landing pages. That is like a most important aspect. In case if you don't have those pages on your website, there could be a policy suspension trigger happening because of lack of these compliance policies. The fifth aspect over here, first is the advertiser verification that we've done. We've done the billing setup, we've done the business operation verification, we have cleared out on our landing page and website building. The fifth aspect when you're setting up the campaign is first figuring out the conversion goal that on which you want to optimize your campaign on. Conversion mapping can be done in 2 ways. One is the Google Tag Manager, which is the online conversion goal mapping that you can do on the Google Ads dashboard. And second is the offline conversion import, wherein, for example, if you are promoting a website in which you cannot place your Google tags, but you are actually getting an offline conversion report which has Google Click IDs, you can go ahead and upload back that data on the Google Ads Manager using the offline conversion import feature. The importance of having conversion mapping in your campaign is because the system needs some input for it to get a final output. At times we see that affiliates just put on the campaign, put a landing page and start the campaigns on maximize clicks, and they start just leave the campaign like that and optimize on the clicks page. We recommend you to have the conversion goal in place for you to actually do a deeper funnel targeting to your campaign, optimize to your final CPS that you are there in mind. And for that, the system needs the right amount of input of data coming in, which you can do through the 2 methodologies, which is the conversion goal mapping and the offline conversion import. What to do when you have an ad disapproval and account suspensions? Once we have everything in place, we start and launch the campaigns. In case if you feel issues or triggers coming on the ads that have been set up, the ads are getting disapproved, or in case if you launch the campaign and the account has got suspended, so there are ways on how you can deal with it. First, for the case of ad disapproval, understand the policy on which the ad has been disapproved. Is it something regarding a specific health policy, or in case if you're promoting gaming campaigns, is there any gaming policy violation happening? Try and understand the right cause of the ad disapproval that is happening. Try to fix it by making some edits to the ad, then reappeal again. In case if it is still showing an error, maybe try adding more information or try to delete that ad and create a fresh ad with the right guidelines provided, and then launch the campaign. That is another way. Third, obviously, in case if you are affiliated with any of the Google Direct account managers over here, we can also go ahead and help you in the ad disapproval piece. With regards to ad suspension, first, again, do not leave it unaddressed. Usually, we see that once an account gets suspended, a fresh account is created and the accounts are live on that another account, and the suspended accounts like remain as is. Ideally, it's not a recommended practice because it is building your history on your entity name by adding the number of suspended accounts. The first thing that you need to do when you see that an account is suspended, what is the clear reason? In the latest updates of Google, we are actually providing a lot more information about the subcategories on which the suspensions are happening. Read about it in depth in terms of what is the category of the suspension that has happened and provide that information in your appeal. But we recommend you to make an appeal. Fill the right documentation, provide the information, explain about your business, what is the intent, what are you trying to do, and try to put across that first appeal. In case that first appeal is denied, please go ahead to put the second appeal, add additional information that you can provide in case there's some client authorization which are asking you or allowing you to run Google Ads. Go ahead to add those authorization documents, attach the domain ownership certificate, proof of any relationship between you and the end client, which actually helps you making your case for the suspension appeal. So it's recommended for you to make those two appeals. In case the second appeal also fails, we also have the leverage at our end as a Google affiliate specialist team that we can make a suspension appeal after those two appeals have been denied on your behalf, and we have the right documentation. So that's the overall crux when you face suspension challenges. And summarizing quickly of what we've discussed so far, consistency in information is very important. So keep that beforehand when you are starting your campaign. Advertiser verification is the second thing that you have to do once you are setting up the CID. Third is the billing setup. Try to match it to the original entity on which you are setting up the entire campaign. Fourth is building the right pre-lander landing page essential. Ensure that all of the 5 pages that we've mentioned are there. Fifth is the conversion goal mapping, that we need the system to have the data back for it to optimize in the right direction. And finally, we have the setting up of the campaign whenever we are facing some issues in the ad suspensions and ad disapprovals on how to battle it. Cool. I think that's all, and we'll hand it over to Bia.
Hello, everyone, again, and thank you so much, Twinkle and Shrey, for the first two sessions. I will have first and foremost, quick introduction on my side as well. I'm also part of the affiliate specialist team here at Google. I am based in Singapore, and I oversee Singapore, Southeast Asia, as well as Australia and New Zealand. Today, I have the privilege to go through AI-driven Google Ads strategy, so a session focused on Google Ads product that are specifically interesting and useful for in the affiliate space. But obviously, we at Google, we always love to start from the consumers, and we all know that consumer journeys are not linear, but they're actually fluid and often include multiple touch points. This means that it's actually, and we all know that, it's actually very tough for consumers to make a purchasing decision straight away. And typically, consumers need to be exposed to products or services multiple times before they actually choose the ones they want to go for. For this reason, we at Google created several different products that you can all use in your affiliate journey in order to target consumers at different phases of their consumer journey. What we did here is we provided a guideline on what are the Google products that are mostly used for some of the top verticals in the affiliate industry. As an example, some of you will be affiliates in the home improvement category. In this case, typically the most used Google products are Search, Performance Max, or Demand Gen. Others of you are going to be affiliates on the coupon sites where the most used product is actually Google Search, or let's say on a pay-per-call model in the travel industry where, again, the most used Google product is Search. This is just a general guideline, and we hope to have one-to-one conversation with each and every one of you so that we can actually advise you and consult what are on a specific strategy that is tailor-made for your business. Today, we will, due to time limit, we don't have time to go through all Google products, but we will deep dive on 2 products. The first one being Performance Max. What is Performance Max? Performance Max is a conversion goal product, which means that you should use this solution whenever you have a very clear conversion goals in mind. It is a solution that goes through or provide access to a lot of different inventory on Google, such as YouTube, Display, Google Search, Discovery, Gmail, and Google Maps. So with just this campaign or solution, you actually have access to all this inventory. And again, you should choose it when you have a very clear conversion goal in mind. In fact, Performance Max optimizes for conversion goals that you select. And please note that you can optimize to 1 or more goals from a single campaign, and also assign different values to your conversion to drive the highest ROI. So as an example, if you are an affiliate in the online sales vertical, then you can obviously have online purchase as a conversion goal, but also other goals such as add to cart and begin checkout. Obviously, the 3 conversion action in this case will have different conversion values, as they don't mean the same for you as an affiliate. But how does it work? So you as advertisers need to provide some information to Google in order for the campaign to start. Specifically, you need to provide your targeting marketing objective and goals. So again, as an example, online sales or lead generation. You need to provide the feed, which is optional. As an example, the Google My Business or the Merchant Center, in case you want to run on shopping as well. Very important, you need to provide assets, so high quality text, image, and video asset, and also audience signals. In the audience part, you can either choose first-party audience, so your own first-party data, as an example, remarketing list, or you can actually tap into Google Audiences, which are audiences that are created by Google and that typically follow some interest or some demographic or consumer categories that you can choose as type of consumer to target. You also need to provide location or language target, and also obviously the budget. Once you provide all this information to Google, Google will actually optimize the budget on a real-time basis between the different inventories to assign the budget to the inventory that drives the highest ROI in that moment for your conversion value, so for your conversion goal. So it's really, really a way to actually use AI to drive your conversion on Google Ads. So to summarize a little bit the key goals of this solution, typically Performance Max is useful or uses Google's AI to drive results in 3 ways. First one being help you find more customers that are likely to convert on your website. As we saw, it has access to several different inventory, and it helps you find customers that are likely to convert on all the different inventories. Second, obviously, it's a solution or a campaign that optimizes for conversion. So it helps you multiply your conversion and your conversion value, as it optimizes for the conversion that has the highest conversion value. And third one, it's very, very impactful for your learning. Through Performance Max, you will actually learn what are the creatives that are driving you or are giving you most conversion, and who are the audiences that are converting the most on Google Ads. So it's very, very impactful also for learnings of your own strategy. Typically, what we see is that advertisers who adopt Performance Max see an average increase of 27% more conversion or conversion value at a similar cost per action or return on ad spend. So really, if you have a very clear conversion goals as an affiliate, definitely try Performance Max as one of your key solutions. Performance Max was the first solution that we wanted to kind of deep dive into today. And now let's go to the second one, which is Demand Gen. Demand gen, as the name says, it's a solution that is made to create demand. So whenever your objective is generate demand among a specific set of consumers, definitely demand gen can be the solution for you. Demand gen is the most visual solution in the Google Ads space, and hence is the solution that is typically compared to the social solution. The inventory that you will have access to through Demand Gen is the one that you see on this slide. So as an example, YouTube Shorts, YouTube InStream, and YouTube Feeds, but also Discovery and Gmail. Keep in mind that Demand Gen is, we could call it the enhanced version of what was previously called a video action campaign. Some of you may know that video action campaign were campaigns on YouTube where we actually gave the conversion action, where we actually basically, whenever we would do the video action campaigns, we would tell the algorithm that our goal through that campaign was a conversion, and hence video action as the name. This solution was deprecated and is now incorporated through Demand Gen. So if you want to drive action through YouTube, then Demand Gen is your go-to solution now. It's very, very impactful because what we know is that consumers turn to YouTube and Google to discover and take action. Consumers are 2 times more likely to discover new products or brands on YouTube versus traditional social platform. And we also know that 86% of online users spring into immediate action after discovering something new on YouTube or Google. So both YouTube and Google really drive new demand or new discovery for our consumers. It's very easy to get started with Demand Gen. If you want to try this solution, there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. First one being, obviously, you need to determine your budget and the audience that you want to target, that you want to generate demand within. You also, as a very visual solution, you also need to bring or provide to Google the best creative, so images, videos, alongside all the different formats. And third, you would need to test and evaluate your performance against your comparable social campaigns. Something interesting about Demand Gen, similar to what we said before on PMax, is that you can get a lot of creative insights to drive performance. So whenever you run a Demand Gen campaign, you will then see what are the videos that perform the best. Is it skippable in stream? Is it in feed or shorts? You will also see the campaigns that perform the best in terms of ad group and video levels. This will help you understand what are the creatives that are performing the best among your audience that you can then use these insights and learning to further develop your own strategy. Unfortunately, the graphic is not working here, but something very important to note on Demand Gen is that you can actually target lookalike segments on Demand Gen. Please note that at the moment, it's the only Google solution that helps you where you can target lookalike segments. Lookalike segments are audiences that are similar to your own first-party audience that are already converted on your website. So basically, you would tell Google, I want to find audiences or consumers that are similar to these consumers that are already converted on my website. And if you want to target and use this segment, you can only actually use it on Demand Gen. So very, very impactful as a strategy and as an insights to know. In Q4 2024, so 6 months ago, more or less, we actually launched Demand Gen for Leads, where you basically use Demand Gen to drive high quality leads. The purpose here would be to unlock new demand. So use this solution to unlock new demand, create deeper connection at scale through this solution, and turn the discovery phase into leads through this solution. So if you are an affiliate with lead generation goals, please consider using this solution in order to drive more leads for your business. So this was on the product part. I will now hand it over to Konstantin to go through unlocking affiliate potential with third-party ad tracking solution.
Thank you, Beatrice, and the Google team for covering the infrastructural part, the Google products. Everything is amazing. So Google team mostly covered the part about the platform, how to set up the channel, what products to use to drive more conversion sales, or whatever your affiliate business optimizes for. And now, once you started to run your campaigns and seen the first results in your ad manager, it's time to dwell more into analyzing those results and maximizing your performance, maximizing your profit with this data. So this is where third-party ad tracking or conversion tracking solutions might be really helpful. But before we start, let's actually cover the issues and the root, like why third-party solutions might be useful at a certain stage for the affiliates when they analyze their campaigns and optimize them towards better results. So as Google team covered previously, Google, in order to drive your conversions, uses data. So it uses data in order to find the patterns and find you better users who would convert better, who would bring you more profit and belong to your audience. And to do that, the algorithms need the right data. So data becomes a critical fuel when it comes to optimization and running your campaigns properly and getting maximum result of them. When you get in the wrong data and feeding that to algorithm, you actually come across several challenges, which are highlighted on the next slide. So first of all, you might notice inaccurate attribution of conversions or revenue in your accounts. You might come across big or small discrepancies, which actually do not allow you to make appropriate optimization steps. Sometimes if you run the campaigns, multi-channel campaigns on different ad platforms or within different ad accounts, you might come across complexity of fragmented manual analysis, which is again a problem. Then it all results usually in higher CPA and lower ROI from your campaigns, difficulty in optimizing the campaign's performance, and if you are working in the team, usually it's also a problem of streamlining the common work, and you just don't have a single environment for media buying operations. According to the information from our clients, they lose up to 65% of the conversions being not attributed properly or not being tracked in the ads managers if they are using wrong methods of tracking or the tracking is installed incorrectly. Then we come to the main part. This is where the conversion trackers or the third-party solutions might be valuable for affiliates and help them solve their problems. First of all, you improve your ROI and lower CPA with the help of more accurate data, which you collect with a third-party solution and pass it back to the ad system. Secondly, you simplify and automate your ad campaign management and analysis within a single software. So you start to get a single source of truth for all your media buying campaigns and have 360 view on everything which is going around different platforms, ad accounts with your media buying. Moreover, it allows to automate A/B testing and traffic attribution, which is very important when you use different pro-landers and landing pages and you have complex funnels to drive your traffic to the final landing page and make more conversions or revenue. And this is where it's important to take into consideration conversion API protocols. So those are protocols which Google also has. It basically allows you to capture the conversions on the third party with a method you would prefer. Like in case of RedTrack, it would be server-to-server technology, which allows you to bypass legally cookies, cookie consent banners, and ad blockers, and collect all the possible conversions. And then via conversion API to pass it back to the ad platform. And first of all, to restore the conversion data on the side of the ad platform. Second, to have all this data complete and feed the algorithm with the full and correct data to optimize it as it should have been done at the very beginning. Conversion API mostly allows you to fill in the gaps which are created by the pixel tracking method of tracking the conversions. And basically, the technology tracks the conversions not on the client side in the browser, but captures them and stores immediately on the server where your tracker is. And then this is where the definition of server to server comes in. The server of your ad tracker sends the conversions via conversion API protocol to the server of Google or whatever ad platform you use to generate the traffic. There are multiple ways currently how to set up the tracking. So the majority of advertisers currently use first-party cookies method, where you set up the cookie of the ad platform and it captures the conversions on the client side in the browser. This is where the majority of vulnerabilities happen, and the conversions are usually lost due to cookies deprecation, ad blockers, or consent banners which block the cookies in case the visitor of the website declines to give for him to be tracked. You also can set up S2S tracking on your own and amplify it with conversion API, sending back the conversions back to ad platform. But this is usually a hard way because you have to hire a team of developers to do that. And even if you manage to set it up all properly, you still have to maintain the system, which means that you have to monitor the developer manuals. You have to follow all ever-changing environment of the compliance laws, which are sometimes different from region to region. And this is where the third-party solutions like RedTrack step into the game. This is our bread and butter, and we do business on that. We actually have the server-to-server conversion tracking solution, which is maintained all the time by our team of engineers and compliant with all the existing data privacy regulations. So we basically take care of your tracking as an independent source of truth for conversions and revenue tracking and attribution, and then using conversion API protocols of different ad platforms, including Google. We send them back securely to the servers of the ad platforms to feed your algorithms and let you optimize your campaigns better and drive more profit from the affiliate campaigns. What we actually give as a solution, a minute of promoting ourselves, we give a single platform to streamline your media buying activities. Whether you are working as a team or a single affiliate, it would be valuable to have a single solution which allows you to do multiple things. Moreover, we provide accurate conversion tracking and attribution, and you can have it multi-channel and see the results from all the campaign across all the ad channels at one place. We maintain our top-notch CAP integrations with platforms like Google. This is where you don't need to take care of the technical side, and just in several clicks send the conversions from your campaign tracked by RedTrack back to Google. We have very diversified integration. All the major ad platforms, including Google, are covered, and bunch of the other integrations, including the affiliate networks, ad platforms, CRMs, are also included. Reporting diversity is one of the strongest points at our site, and we allow our users to make custom reports in a table format to analyze throughout 50 plus data points to optimize your campaigns even better. And that's all seasoned with automated solutions which allow you to automate media buying optimization, A/B testing, of the landing pages, traffic distribution, and lots of different things, including some AI enhancement. So basically, you get one single media buying, performance media buying optimization tool within one, and you don't have to care about maintaining a huge tech stack to make tracking, attribution, and automation of your media buying campaigns. Please pay attention that there is a CTA banner on the top of our presentation, so you can visit our website and check out more and register for a 14-day free trial to test it, or book a demo to see the tool according to the scenario you are interested in. And now I'm passing the word to Shubham. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Constant, for this amazing piece of information. And thanks a lot to all the speakers, Twinkle and Bia, also for walking us through the products that we need and how to set it up. Before I go into this segment, I would like to compare the success that we get over Google Ads with creating a wonderful curry. So you can have all the ingredients, but I think then that is an art on how do we fix it, and each step builds onto the last one for a rich and tasteful curry. So in the next section, we'll talk about how do we start utilize the information that we've already gotten on this webinar. How do we start and scale in a period of 1 month to set up our campaigns? So this is the flowchart that we're talking about, and as I mentioned, this is a 1 month process. But what do you do when you start up? We'll walk through an example here so that it's easy for us to understand. Imagine you're working on an e-commerce product which has a $25 break-even CPA for you. Just remember this example, and everything that we do on the next 5 slides would revolve around this. The first very important step after you have made sure that you are setting up your account the right way is building those campaigns and actually going out and advertising. How do you do that? The most important thing to do initially is to make sure that instead of starting with a lot of experiments, we start with low hanging fruits. What does that mean? In terms of audience, we need to ensure that we are utilizing audiences that we believe would be the right customer for this audience. So choose audiences that are affinity or in market audiences. Do not go for very lower funnel audience because that increases the cost. In terms of bid strategy and budget, you can start with $100 a day budget for this kind of a situation, and start with either max clicks or maximize conversions as a bid strategy. You can make sure that you are open to all the devices and languages. We do not want to give a lot of instructions on the very first day, but allow the algorithm to find users that could be useful for us. Once we have made the initial build, that is when we allow it to run for a week. Please ensure do not make changes on 1 day history that you have. Google is built on AI. AI needs a lot of data. So the more data that you provide to your campaigns, the more accurately are we setting up our campaigns for success. So allow a week for the campaign to run, and that is when we come to our initial evaluation. Imagining we've started our campaigns in maximize clicks. The first thing that we need to see is if we have started getting conversions, can we move it to maximize conversion strategy? Once you've done that, we allow the campaign to run on maximize conversion strategy till the point we see very stable CPAs. So here what you need to do is look at the daily reports, understand on a day-to-day basis if we are, let's assume we are close to a $45 CPA that we are getting. If you've gotten that kind of CPA for 2 to 3 days straight, that is the time we move to TCPA bidding strategy. That's case one. Case two, we do not see any improvements happening on the campaign. Allow it to run for 10 days or 14 days. 14 days allows you to complete 2 weekly cycles, where even if there are variations on weekday and weekend events, we'll be completing 2 layers of that. That is when you look at the campaign, and if you do not see CPS stabilizing and CPS being in range, that is the time to pause and reflect again. There could be issues with our landing pages. There could be issues with our ad copies and assets that we have provided. So that is the time we go back to the basics, understand if there are changes that we need to make. Like I mentioned, case two, where you believe that you're starting getting constant CPAs, but the CPAs are still higher than what you need. Coming back to the example, we're chasing a $25 CPA, but let's assume in the first week or so, we're getting steady TCPAs at $45. What do we do here? This is the time when we move below on the CPA. We send the signal to the algorithm that we do not need conversions coming at 45, but probably prune that and come down to $40. If it holds on $40, improve the budgets. From $100, we can go to $500 and see if the system is still able to bring us conversions at $40. If it is able to do that constantly for 2 to 3 days, that is the time you move lower to $35 as a number. In case you do not see CPAs coming down, or when you have when you have reduced the TCPA to $40 and you're not getting volumes, that is time to again go back to $45 CPA and relook at the ad copies that we have created and the landing pages. So every time a bid change or a budget change fails, we need to reassess if we are finding the right audience and if we are talking to them in the right manner so that they are able to convert. Once we've done that, and assuming that we've been able to move down from a 45 to a $35 kind of a CPA, I think this is where week 2 and week 3 we go and start scaling on this. There are two things that we are trying to do here in this leg, which is coming closer to the required CPA, but also making sure that we are increasing the volume where we need to be. Now, one thing to notice here is do not do both these things together. This is where the whole art comes into the picture. We need to understand at what point do we need to go lower on TCPAs and come closer to our target, and at what point do we provide more budgets to the campaign to get more learnings on that particular stage. Always alternate between them if you are getting the right motion. Now, assuming we are at $35 CPA and 500 a day kind of spends, and we've optimized towards that. What do we do here? Now, this is a phase of optimization and some testing as well. You continue to work on this campaign and increase the budgets. Also, make sure the moment you hit TCPAs, you lower that number again. So, for example, from a 500 per day, you can move to a 1K per day spend at 35. Once you've stabilized there, move to $30 CPA. That would be the next move. Simultaneously, you can now start learning through the data that the dashboard provides you. You can look at devices that have worked great for you. You can look at audience insights and understand what are the kind of audience that are more relevant for you and that see your content as more relatable. This is where you can break out more campaigns with very specific details on what is the age group that you want to target, what is the device that you want to target, and going stricter on the audiences, and let them learn and see if you're getting better results there. Meanwhile, when you are able to find scale at, let's say, a $30, now this is the phase where this is the growth phase. This is where you grow exponentially in terms of the budgets. You're at $30 CPA, you know $25 is what you need to achieve, and you're very close to the target. From 1K to 2K to 5K, these are the points where you increase your budgets and simultaneously lower the TCPA. So at every stage, you judge whether you can get closer and maintain to a $25 CPA. So for example, after stabilizing at 1K and a $30 CPA, you can move to a $25, stabilize, move to 2K. You stabilize there, move to 5K, and that is when you have your evergreen campaign. Once you've done the hard yard in the first 3 to 4 weeks and make sure that you have followed a process, this is when your campaigns will start delivering a lot of value to you, where they are in an evergreen form. You don't need to make a lot of changes, but they are continuously bringing in that revenue for you. The second piece, which I mentioned, is along with that scale, continuous experimentation. But remember, the experimentation phase starts after you've received some scale and not on day one. So I'll just reiterate the flow once again for everyone. Start with very, very specific goals in mind. Do not try and achieve your target on day one. Start with max clicks or max conversions. Allow the system to gather some information. Week 1 is when you start changing your bid strategies and what you're trying to achieve in terms of the numbers. So from, let's say, a 45, you now try to come down to 25, but also make sure that you're increasing in terms of volume. So this is how you go about scale starting from zero, and then how you go about doing things. I hope that is clear. As I mentioned, I think in the next step, I wanted to also talk about certain things that we need to surely avoid to make sure that the dish is tasty and is relevant for everyone. I think we've touched upon this, but I'll just quickly skim through this piece, which is budget volatility, affiliate rules, and campaign stability. In terms of budget volatility, a lot of times within the affiliate circle, you would hear people talking about providing $1,000 daily budget with a CPC bid of 999. Please do not use those methods. Work with what works on Google Ads and not what people are telling you to do outside. These are some hacks that people try and also end up losing a lot of money. The best piece of advice that we could give you is what we've already given to you, right? Start slow, make sure that you're reaching there with some data, and then enabling the pieces. The second piece, which is very important, a lot of times we hear people when the target is way off. For example, in our case, from a 25 to a 45 CPA, we want to you want to directly come from 45 to 25, but that's not something that works. So you have to make sure that you're taking particular steps and making sure you are achieving towards that. The second piece, which is violating affiliate program rules, please make sure that the landing page has all the information. I think Twinkle has already covered those aspects. So make sure that you are setting yourself up the right way. Last but not the least, campaign stability. Please do not make a lot of pauses in between. Do not make a lot of changes in the initial weeks when you are learning through it. Like I mentioned, do not make bid and budgets changes together. Keep a value specifically on when you're talking about bids. Do not change bids by more than 20% at one point, because that takes the campaign into learning phase again. Quickly skimming through some of the common ad mistakes that we do, trying to get early success, is clickbait ads, destination mismatch, where you're using auto redirects from a particular landing page, image qualities, where you just want to make sure that you're providing the assets but not quality assets, just to make sure you start quick. And also at times when you're using public figure as clickbait strategies again within those images. Please avoid these mistakes, because you might be able to start early, but this is where disapprovals and policy issues creep in, and you won't be able to sustain the business for long. Quickly skimming through bid strategy and budget mistakes as well. We've already talked about, the importance of choosing the right bid strategy. You cannot be starting with target CPA if you do not have learnings on the campaign. So follow what has been advised in terms of getting that information into the system, and then coming to a place where AI can do its magic and bring in constant revenue for you. Secondly, about budget fluctuations, like we mentioned, do not alter your budgets very, very quickly. Allow the system to take its time and understand the volume at which it needs to work. Uh, Lastly, TCPA settings. As I mentioned, make sure that the changes that you're making are within a range of 20% and not higher. And the fourth section, which is choose your move. Like we said earlier, there are things to change around budgets and bids. Do not do them together. Understand what is more important for us to do at a given point, and then make your move. This is the last segment, and I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on this, but we just wanted to quickly show you. There are multiple CPS and CPL verticals and formats that we have. Talking about some of the CPS formats, we have advertorial style D2C, we have travel, comparison and coupon sites, and COD e-commerce. We also have some target markets, which is, some of these are very relevant in US and EMEA markets, but the others are more global in nature. Similarly, on CPL verticals, we have auto insurance, home improvement, health insurance, and finance as evergreen categories. You need to make sure that you utilize them the right way, specifically finance. There are a lot of details around how to best utilize and make sure that there are no policy violations. These are some of the examples on auto insurance in terms of what we can do in terms of landing pages is to have a pre-lander with qualifying questions. So you make sure it's the right lead that is flowing into the final advertiser system. Similarly, with home improvements and the categories. For home improvement, there's this slide that we wanted to present, which is the top subcategories within home improvement that we have, which is plumbing, pest control, electrician, windows, and solar. Most of these are evergreen categories. So if you're thinking on where to start from, this is one category that you can start and utilize everything that we have talked about. uh, this is primarily what we wanted to share. I hope this has been useful to you, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how you could get Google support also, to make sure that you could utilize the whole journey and be successful at it. For that, I'll pass on to Twinkle again, who will walk you through on how you can engage with us. Thank you.
I think it's okay. Hey guys, so I'll just quickly skim through on how you can get in touch with us directly. So basically, we've actually identified certain guardrails and SOPs on which you can get started. So we recommend ideally not to go ahead and start like excess amount of offers. We recommend you to first select 3 offers that you want to get started on, build 3 landing pages, set up those 3 CIDs, and we can help you getting on, starting on what is the right way, doing the trial setup for you guys. So that's called the trial onboarding strategy at our end. So basically, that's a 3-week period that we have for any new affiliate on to getting onboarded. We help them, we guide you, we help you with all the insights and understanding and any sort of analysis that you need from our end in terms of any vertical intelligence that you need from any of our specialist team. We are there to help you. What we have done is we've created this QR code. Basically, if you want to get started on the trial piece with Google, you can go ahead to scan the QR code, fill in the required details, and one of our affiliate specialist team, POC, will reach out to you for you to have any one-on-one consults. If you have any questions, you have any challenges, you want to discuss any future strategy that you want, or how, if you're somebody who's getting started into the affiliate ecosystem, on what is the way of getting started rightly, which vertical you should focus on, which market, etc. All of that support will be provided by our team. You can just simply scan the QR code and fill in the details, and we will connect with you on that later. Cool. I think that is all from our end. Shrey, you want to add any? Yep. Cool. I think Constantine, you can take it up. That's all from our end.
Awesome. It's time for Q&A session, I think. So we can start from the questions being asked at the beginning and addressed to the Google team. Let me just jump to the beginning of the chat.
I think some of them have been answered. What we're missing... Actually, I think all of them have been answered in the chat.
Okay.
But we have incoming questions. We have one for Sharma. Can we run multiple verticals inside the same CID, or will there be vertical mistakes?
Don't recommend running multiple verticals, especially if you're using different landing pages into one CID. We recommend, if you have a landing page which is designated to each and every vertical, and ideally should be placed in an individual CIDs, because you might not know that one vertical's policy can impact the other and your entire CID can be suspended. So and that.
Thanks.
Yes, thanks for that. If you have any other questions, now is the time to ask them.
Mila, I think I see a question which you missed, rather than a continuation of discussion about whether RedTrack can provide data.
If it's only one, then obviously it might create that of an effect. Just try to follow 20% thumb rule. Say if you have 10 CIDs which are associated to MCC, and if you have like more than 3-4 CIDs which are under that MCC, then obviously it is under a red flag.
There's another question on ACA. So for ACA, as a pay-per-call campaign, you need to have a G2 health insurance certificate applied in your account. There are open articles in terms of how to get that applied, but that is a requirement from Google policies end. Yeah, that's answered.
That's answered.
Maybe if there are more questions, we can take them on a one-to-one conversation. If you fill in the form, we will be happy to kind of like have one-to-one conversation with each one of you. Answer the question. Directly.
I see a question related to the retention of the data on RedTrack platform. So one of the users asked if we retain the data more than 24 months. Yes, we do. I also see a comment that we talked to our CEO of Red about that. I will figure this out and provide the answer. Sorry, there is a lot of
Guys, if you're not talking, let's please have you on mute. Thank you. I think that would make it better. Proceed.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mila. I'll repeat again. There was a question about if RedTrack is able to retain the conversion and the other data more than 24 months. The short answer is yes, we can do that on custom plans for affiliate. 36 months is the limit, probably. I see the comment that our attendee talked to our CEO of WED, how it will look like. I will sort this out for you specifically and provide the answer on your email. Not sure I can tell you right now how does it technically look like on our side, but the question is noted. Thank you.
It seems we don't have any more questions. The chat history has been exported, so we have the questions that have been asked for us to know what people are interested in. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Google team. This was illuminating and super helpful, I feel, for us and for our users. Sorry, one last question. How do we get with the speakers directly? What would be the best way?
In my case, that can be LinkedIn, which is was provided in the letter invitation to this presentation. I think we would also share our personal contact details or the other means of communication in the follow-up email after the webinar. Yeah, but you can find me on LinkedIn just in case.
Also, the webinar will be recorded and put on the RedTrack YouTube channel, so we can leave some links there for you to be in touch with our speakers. Thank you all. It's a wrap.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.